Next, we take a look at this story. Images of KZN teacher Lulu Menziwa's work attire has gone viral. Many criticizing her dress sense, saying that it's inappropriate, rather. But what exactly is the correct work attire? This is for teachers. Well, let's get what happened from Lulu herself. She joins us now on the line, Lulu Menziwa, and in studio we've got the Department of Basic Education spokesperson Troy Martins. Lulu, good evening. Firstly, perhaps just tell me, what did you think when you saw your pictures trending online?
Good evening, Kathy, and your viewers. At first, when I saw my pictures trending online, I was so surprised. You know, like I can say I was shocked. I didn't know what was happening. Because people were saying a lot of things, and yeah, I was so shocked.
And of course, part of what people were saying was that your dress code was inappropriate and that it was sexually suggestive. Do you agree with those comments? Is that what you think?
I don't agree with them. I think it's just their opinion.
And have you ever had complaints from the school or even from learners about your dress code?
No, I never encountered that.
And we also understand that you've experienced quite a bit of bullying on social media. Have you had to make your accounts private?
My account has been private since. My account never been on public.
And do you think that the attire of teachers should be policed? Do you think that you need to be told what you should wear?
I don't think so, because we all have our own different style of dressing up. We all have our different taste of how we should up. So I don't think so.
And what do you think about mostly when you get ready for work? What's going through your mind as you pick what to wear?
I believe in that when I'm dressed up, it's where my confidence is boosted. It's where I get my confidence. So once I dress up, it's where I have that confidence. So when I dress up, I want to represent myself in a good way. So when I pick my clothes, obviously I'll pick those clothes that they fit me nicely and then they are so representable. To my kids.
Yeah, and have you ever had, learners coming to you, perhaps saying that they're distracted by how you look, maybe that some of them can't concentrate and stuff, or even part of what has been suggested on social media?
No, I never experienced that. Instead, I always get the compliments from them.
All right. So as far as you're concerned, you see absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Let's leave it there with you for now. Thank you so much for your time on the show tonight, Lulu. Troy Martins, let's continue this conversation. It's been very interesting to see how different people respond to this teach. And of course, we're also living in a time, Troy, where you have a different generation that's now entering the profession, or that's in the teaching profession. And our approach to dress may be completely different to the generation before us. How do you, as the department, try and manage then all those different influences that go into helping us decide how we present ourselves to the world?
You know, Kathy, I think I want to start this discussion by saying that I think it's absolutely ridiculous that in 2019 we're sitting in an actual newsroom discussing what a woman should and shouldn't wear and how to police a woman's dress code. And I mean, if you look at her attire, she looks great. She looks professional, and it actually sits uncomfortably with me that we're sitting here in 2019 in an actual newsroom having this discussion about, is it appropriate what a woman wears to work? I mean, if she was wearing a crop top and booty shorts, maybe that discussion would be relevant, but I really think that it's absolutely
and
ridiculous.
I think the conversation is not really about its appropriateness, Troy. I think the question rather is really about how the department manages this, because you'd have seen on social media different people expressing different views, many saying that it is perhaps not the best for classrooms. And so we're not saying, is it appropriate or isn't it appropriate, but we're asking you, how do you manage?
But I think you're feeding into this idea that women should dress a certain way or should be perceived a certain way or shouldn't be perceived sexy in certain environments. I mean, who says that how she's dressed is sexy? Sexy is an opinion. sexy is what you think is sexy and what I think is sexy may be completely different things. And I think as the Department of Basic Education, we don't police what teachers wear. Teachers are professionals, and we trust them to go into a work environment looking and acting in a professional manner that becomes the profession. And that's what we're seeing. We don't see anything wrong with how she's dressed. I mean, if you look at her, she looks smart. If you saw her walking around the business center of Sandton, you wouldn't have a problem with that. And for me, I just feel like, why is ENCA even having this as a discussion?
Is there a code, Troy Martins, that teachers need to subscribe to?
No, like I've said,
in terms of their
teachers are professionals. Is there a code that you, as a journalist or as an accountant, has to adhere to? No, we trust you to dress in a professional manner. I know ENCA did have an issue with a dress code where something, a duk, was deemed inappropriate. We don't do that. We trust our professionals to be professional in their environment.
And that's absolutely great. We're not on different ends on this.
Yes, no.
We're not on opposite ends here.
I mean,
because you are coming across as very defensive.
Why am I even talking about
No, we're talking about it because it's an issue that clearly is bothering many South Africans. And we are giving you, as the Education Department, an opportunity to set the record straight about where you stand with any kind of dress code which pertains to teachers.
The fact that it is an issue that's been talked about in society, how a woman should dress. It's one step away from saying, oh, her dress was too tight, that's why she was raped, or so on and so forth. And I think we're feeding into that. It really is a societal issue that we need to address, is why, as a society, are we so bogged down by how a woman dresses? I think it's this patriarchal issue coming and raising its head.
But Troy, surely the way to challenge narratives is through conversation. So while I
That's what we're doing.
Yes, I completely agree with where you're coming from in this interview, because, you know, I had exactly the same kind of reaction when I saw it. I thought, she's a modern woman in 2019.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with how she looks. But I also understand I'm from a different generation. Not everybody sees things the way that we may see it. And certainly there must always be room to have a discussion, and especially from the platform of the Education Department.
And I think we need to remember, when women first wore pants, it was a travesty. When we were allowed to wear pants in schools, it was like, girls are wearing pants in schools. Yes, girls are wearing pants in schools. Why do we need someone to tell us as women how we can and can't dress? If I look professional and I'm smart and I'm neat, and you'll probably find that those learners in her class look up to her, and she's aspirational, and she probably relates to them better because she's young and she looks great, you know. And I just have an issue with the fact that, I mean, it's ridiculous that people even think that it's worthy, and that we can sit here in a newsroom and discuss how a woman is dressed. I mean, do you see how absurd that is?
All right. So basically then the message from the Department of Education is that people should keep their opinions to themselves. If you don't like
Kathy,
what
you're
teachers...
twisting my words. That's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that in a modern society, we can't keep feeding into this narrative that people have a right to say how a woman should and shouldn't dress, or how a woman should and shouldn't portray herself.
Yes, that teachers are allowed to wear whatever it is that they want to wear.
They need to look professional and be smart and be presentable, yes.
All right, then let's leave it there for tonight. Troy Martins, as she speaks on behalf of the Department of Education. I'm going to have your latest news for you, top of the hour.